Welcome back to Lobos Collectables. Slightly longer video today because we're going to be looking at my piece for the Landspeeder project. Kill boy. The Landspeeder project is going to be an exhibition happening at Lobos Collectables in Melbourne. Over 20 artists contributing over 30 different customized Landspeeders. This was organised by an independent toy company called Good Guys Never Win Toys. Basically, we got given a blank Landspeeder and we were told we could do anything with it. The only rules were to have 2 figures involved, otherwise we had pretty much free range to do anything we wanted to do with it. So this is what we started with. This was our blank speeder, and here I am prepping it and priming it to get it ready for the first layer of paint. It's just a very basic, pretty sloppy layer of green that I'm now sanding back so I can see the layers of primer underneath, and so it looks like sort of chipped and faded paint. And I'm gonna do this a couple of times so that the whole surface of this thing just looks like worn and old. And like it's been sitting in the middle of a forest, the forest moon of Endor for months on end. I've added some kind of smoky details where smoke's been billowing out of the engines. It's kind of like smoked up the paint and blacked it up a little bit so it's a little bit dirty, a bit grimy. I think what I'm going to do now is a black wash just to kind of dirty the whole thing up a bit, and then I'll dry brush it a little bit, start adding the vines. And then I'll have to start working on the figures, which I've already done here. As you can see, this poor vintage Star Wars Chief Chirper figure has been hacked up a little bit because I'm going to make a mold of him and remake my mossy wok figure. I had this idea that I would get all these actual like sticks and roots and vines that I stole from my parents' garden and use them to decorate it, but I'm finding they're just a little bit too dry and brittle, and I can't quite get them to be in the shapes that I want. So what I'm going to do is ditch that idea, and I'm going to use some of this epoxy sculpt that I have left and just make a whole bunch of my own sort of thin roots and vines and sculpt them myself so I can get them exactly how I want them. So sorry, Mother Nature, once again, you lose! So this fancy boy here is the thing that I bought ages ago that I haven't really used yet, and it's actually a clay extruder. So basically you put the clay, or in this case the epoxy sculpt, in here, you put on one of these little filters. It sort of makes spaghetti like the old school kind of like Play-Doh spaghetti maker, you know? And you kind of just turn the handle and it extrudes the clay, pushes it out. So I'm going to try to do that to make some long sort of uniform strands of vines, and then yeah, we'll see how that works. Attempt number 1. So it's kind of working at the moment. It kind of looks like I've just draped noodles all over it, but once this has been painted, I think it's going to look really cool. So here I am painting some of the vines. I did a little bit of a black wash just again to dirty it up. I didn't want this thing to look too clean and pristine. I wanted it to look grimy and grubby and like it had been there for a while. Today I'm going to be working on some of the character accessories. So I've actually got, as you saw, Chief Chirper all hacked up. I made a tiny little mold. I'm going to have a little Masters of the Universe sword, so I'm going to make a little mold of a vintage one of those. Yeah, I'm literally just using scraps that I had here in the workshop, left from other mold boxes that I've made, and I'm making some pretty crude molds, but I'm going to mix up some Barnes Pinky Seal. Not a sponsor, but open to it. And then I'm going to make a mold, and then hopefully you can do some successful casts of all this stuff today for my Landspeeder project Ewok, Mossy Wok mashup thing. Here we go. So these are the very crude molds that I've made. I'm going to mix up some set silicone, mold these bad boys up. So we've got our 3 new little molds done. Time to give them a bit of a clean out, give them a dust up, and mix up some Barnes Easy Cast. Just a little batch today because I'm making a few little things. we go, see if his mods work. Amongst the chaos, it is time for another little update. It's been a few days and I've done quite a lot more. As you can see, I've got a box full of Ewok parts. I've started creating these Ewoks that actually have magnetic articulation. Now, one thing I found with the Ewoks, this is going to be the driver of my land speeder, is that when he sits down, his legs kind of flay apart, which doesn't really work with the super narrow seat. So I've kind of had to make my own little adjustments there, and so I'm about to fill in his butt with milliput, so he's kind of the right shape and he can actually fit into the driver's seat. I've made a little joystick and the control panel, and look, it's very close to being done. One thing I've been struggling with my speeder is that there's going to be this Ewok and carbonite that's somewhere attached to the speeder. Now I really want to put it here. I think I'm going to ditch this bit. I think I'm just going to completely leave it out, make it look like the Ewok has literally like taken this engine off, and like there's just going to be like loose wires and stuff sticking out, so it looks like it's purposely done. I think I'm doing it. It's not going back now. Step right up, don't be shy, check it out. Also, my character, which is Mossy Wok, is going to have a power sword from Masters of the Universe. So this is one that I made from a cast that I did of an original 80s one that I had. So we're getting close to it being finished. It's very exciting. I'm really happy with the work I've done, and in the future I now know how to make some fun like magnetic articulation. I'm just shaving down the sides of little Mossy Wok here because it's sort of pretty snugly fit right now, and once I flock it, it's going to add a little bit of thickness to the sides. So I want to make sure it's shaved down so it kind of just sits in there snugly, but without having to sort of scrape the sides and damaging either the speeder or the actual figure itself. Alright, so we have our driver. So he's just got like a base coat of green on it. Even though this is going to be flocked, I'm still going to do a bit of paint work on it. I'm going to do a black wash on it now, just to bring out some of the details, and then do some dry brushing over the top, just to make sure that fur sticks out real nice. And I'm going to flock it, and then we're very close to being done. So Mossy Wok is painted and ready to be flocked. So I have this grass that model makers and like Warhammer dudes use, and I'm going to use this to flock this Mossy Wok to make him a furry like Mossman from Masters of the Universe. Let's get to it. My build is done, and I realized that I should get some good photos of this thing, because once I send it away to the exhibition and it potentially gets bought, I'll never see this thing again. And it's pretty cool. So I've come down to my local park to take some little toy photography pictures of my land speeder. It has been a crazy journey to get this thing finished, but it is it's done, and it's well and truly time to send it off so it gets to Melbourne in time. So I'm packing it up, I'm sending it away. Goodbye, friend. Hope wherever you end up is somewhere rad. So that's it. If you are in Melbourne during December this year, make sure you go to Lobos Collectables and check out the Land Speeder exhibition. I've seen previews of some of the other works that everyone else has done, and they are amazing. You can check out my piece, which is called Mossy Wok Bounty Hunter, and it's available for purchase as well. So if you love it, you can buy it. If you love Star Wars, you love independent art, you love designer toys, you're going to want to check this out. There's also a competition element where you can actually vote for your favourite speeders, so if you do like mine and you're there, feel free to chuck me a vote. I'd certainly love it, I'd certainly appreciate it. It is December 11th to 19th, 10 to 5 every day at Lobos Collectables in Melbourne. Make sure you check it out. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep it weird and never stop playing. I'm really hoping to grow this channel next year, so you can really help me out by liking, sharing, subscribing, and doing all that awesome YouTube stuff. If you like this video, make sure you follow the channel, because there's going to be some more big stuff coming for next year.